Saying
Spit about it. Throw your hands up. No song, no. Everyone's talking about how much guns they got. Everyone's talking about how much they keep it real. And everyone's talking about how many niggas they kill. But I wanna know how everybody's a gangster. Where's the snitches at? Where's the bitches at? Where's the niggas that just can't take the pressure, man? Where's the set trippers, the fiends, and backstabbers? Cause I wanna know how everybody's a gangster. Going around, we can get it on. Listen, but if you tryna shine, the nigga I'd advise throw some glitter on. This nigga wrong, heard the flow. Third for show, bite the hand that feeds you, deserve to choke. But shit, I ain't mad, we could burn the smoke. Shit, I'm cool, I bought a noose, you could learn the ropes. I show you how you be a everybody, every day. And blade the pump, they never gave a fuck about them anyway. Any day, you might see me with the link when it's out 3. Truthfully, I give a fuck what they thinking about me. I don't know y'all niggas from a hole in the wall. Shit stain all soaking the drawers. I came knocking for the gang, nigga, open the door. Pain stopping at your brain when I'm holding the fall. 3 holes in his head, you can ball with the ball. And I know that you know that I know that you ain't sure if I got my cash up, Mag Tucker, if I'm just vulnerable. The ladder's not likely, dog, and I don't mind showing you. Pine coning you, letting God get a hold of you, knowing that it's my time and I'm overdue. What? But everyone's talking about how much guns they got. Everyone's talking about how much they keep it real. And everyone's talking about how many niggas they kill. But I wanna know how everybody's a gangster. Where's the snitches at? Where's the bitches at? Where's the niggas that just can't take the pressure, man? Where's the set trippers, the fiends, and backstabbers? I'm just trying to know how everybody's.
bang! We are live in the building. My bad. I'm just having a poor production day. First, we had the early scheduled show, 6:30. Had to fix a car and make it here. So that's why I'm late tonight. And then we had the microphone errors on the last upstream just about 20 minutes ago. So I had to double back around. I couldn't leave y'all hanging. I had to let y'all know I'm about that life. I'm about that life, man. This NBA free agency frenzy recap, I think I'm ready. I think I got a lot to say. I got a lot of thoughts going a lot of different ways. As I watch the San Antonio Spurs take on the Charlotte Hornets, looking at the young talent and the talent that they had on their team already. And Charlotte is getting spanked. No limit ball, no big time ballers, no Wembenyama. Just a little scrimmage in the California Classic. So I figured, I was supposed to be on at the beginning of this so we could talk about it upcoming and all that. But I said, figure while the game is on, we'll get busy. We'll get busy. So how's everybody doing? Welcome to BANGUSASPORTS. I'm your host, Bang, the Bangusa, or the Bang USA. However is more comfortable to you, you say it. You know what I mean? I won't take it derogatory or nothing. I think that's it. So got the free agent moves up there at courtesy of NBA.com. And it's not a game. It is not a game, folks. All right, let's get started. NBA free agency frenzy recap. Some teams like the Knicks, I got something to say about them. Lakers, Houston, Nets, Hornets, 76ers. That's a lot of people to talk about. That's a lot of people that ain't even nearly half of all I want to say. So I may not get it all in tonight. May or may not get it all in, but please feel free to jump in the chat. And if you pique my interest, I might throw you a link and we could debate it for everybody, right? Whatever you don't like. You know what I mean? Like the Knicks standing pat, basically. You know what I mean? The Knicks standing pat, basically, with a simple ad, a Nova ad. As you see, my Knicks Villanova right here. You know what I mean? My Knicks Villanova, that's what that means. I thought it was going to become a Dookie team. And they went from a Dookie team to a Nova team. Knicks signing DIVIENCENZO this weekend to a nice little deal. Josh Hart taking less so he could get here. And there we have it. We got a shooter. A more consistent shooter. But that's due to see. Another Villanova champion guard to show up the backcourt for the New York Knicks. And then they did the ultimate, which everybody saw coming months ago. I swore it was a mistake, but Tibbs has handcuffed himself and his fate to the growth of Julius Randle. Growth and success of Julius Randle. I wanted to believe it was of the team, the growth and success of the team. But it's solely to Julius Randle, I believe, and his style, quote-unquote, style of players. Coach Thibodeau, salute to him, and the New York Knicks for making the second round and getting bumped by those Miami Heat, who's on the verge of trying to get none other than Dame Lillard. So it's Dame time at the current time, and he's on deck. Who's going to land him? Everybody's on a frenzy. 76ers look to be in trouble. But we'll get to that. But back to these Knicks. They go and trade the number 8 pick, Obi Toppin, high-flying Obi Toppin, to the Pacers for 2 second-round draft picks. Ain't that so disrespectful? So I know he was an 8 pick, but I throw 2 second-rounders at you. That's mad disrespectful. So the Knicks and Leon, the smart businessman that he is, he like, yo, you know what? New CBA coming in. I'm going to take those two. Just let Obi go over here and fly. Now that deal was on the table for some months. They came back and they did it. Now I'm hearing a lot of questions out there between the community is, if Obi was so good, why he didn't get the offers from the league? Why he didn't get the offers from the league, from the other teams? Why nobody looking for Obi? Well, that's a two-part answer. That's a two-part answer. You know what I mean? Obi Toppin could have been better. But then again, did he get the time to be better? I think he developed outside his natural game. I think he gonna fly right now, and he gonna shine right now, playing looser, playing more open ball, running the ball. He ain't playing inside his skill set. He had to play Tibbs' way. And it's the right basketball way if you got those skill sets. So he had to develop a three-point shot consistently, which he was doing pretty good in the playoffs, you know what I mean? But they do go cold, man. They just shoot. And no matter who the player is, all that shoot. Run to the three-point line and shoot. Dribble, step back, shoot. It get kind of corny. Salute, Sir Charles. Welcome. Thank you for that hit. That energized me to get on. Did he receive a fair shot in New York under Coach Tibbs? I would say no, but he was a backup to an all-star player. That I agree with. But Randall showed plenty of opportunities to plug and play Obi, to let him try to develop. You could even develop them with Randall. But you're trying to develop a center, you're trying to develop a guard, and with all due respect, he developing them and he don't even really believe in them. The whole thing is about trading pieces. He only wanted to keep one or two of those players, and he handcuffed himself to Julius Randle. And he's came up short in the playoff based on Julius' failures. Now, the team failed as a team. I'll say that. That game 6 against Miami, they all failed. Late turnovers by Jalen Brunson to end the game, looking for Julius. But that don't let them off the hook either, because they not only gave up the number 8 pick, but they gave up the other draft pick that they used to get Cam Reddish, and then this bogus on Cam Reddish again because Tibbs couldn't fit him in the system. Oh, he don't fit my team. He don't fit my team. Then you get to the playoff and you need 3-point shooters. Don't have them. Nowhere to be found. Though I don't think they would have played anyway. Fournier was on the bench. He's going to live and die with his players. And so you've had your time. You had your time. You made it to the second round. They failed. Now everybody's retooled, and you think you're going to stand pat and you're going to go up the ladder? That don't make logical sense. That's wishing on a prayer. They're retooling. They're doubling up. They're tripling up. Like, man, standing pat, going to take from 5th seed to a playing team. Man, listen, man. We'll see. We'll see, New York Knicks. I love my New York Knicks, but it's time to be really critical. The fans, they worked hard to get here. Under the cap, got some good players in the house, but none of them are star players. They're hoping one of them pops into a star. But they don't know who to give it to. They don't know who to help more. I think Obi developed. He's going to show you he's a downhill player. He was playing outside the box, not playing defense. Not, you know what I mean? He needs to get to the rim. That's his game. Respect these talents and these skill sets that come down to coaching. And it's like, oh, I don't want you to do that. I want you to fit into my little diagram. And some people will say that's coaching, but it ain't, man. It ain't. You got to coach your talent. You got to coach your talent. Julius Randle struggled with the same thing 3 years in a row. In the clutch. Now, you can't help him be clutch, but you can help him learn how to find his shots, know when to pass the ball, all of that. Like, that bounce, step back, shoot, or hope my shot got to go in and I haven't scored in the last 5 to 6 minutes. Like, that shit is corny basketball. It's loser basketball. So we lost. Man. Obi Toppin, salute to Obi Toppin, man. Make sure he go and he get his, man. I hope he get his and become the rival to the New York Knicks that I feel he could be. I feel like they hindered him a little bit so that he wouldn't hurt the pride of Julius Randle. I feel like they're going to They didn't put pressure on a lot of these guys, on these little rookies, to help their egos, to help their fragile egos. No, you got to put a veteran, decent player right behind them. So when they mess up, that veteran come in and take their spot for a couple of games. You understand what I'm saying? Show them how to do this, son. You lost your spot to the vet, and you was a top 3 pick. RJ Barrett, that's the culture you want to have in there. It ain't, you don't just want controllable players. Oh, somebody that's going to do it my way. And he wants soft players. So that's what he's getting, soft players. And then when it gets to the moment, they can't be tough. They're soft players. Now their feelings are hurt. They play to get to the moment. Now the media getting to them, the fans getting to them. Like, that's the moment. That's what you played for. You can't help toughness, man. You can't teach it either. A player just got to have it. And we don't got no superstars on our team. Salute to Jalen Brunson, who's probably the closest thing to one. But he is not there. He is not there. And if you don't give him something, he gone. And then we back to square one, needing a point guard. Now they want to oversaturate the guards. And like, no. Mitchell Robinson, a good defensive big man, but he's slow. He's a liability on offense. He can't secure 5 baskets a game. That's 5 layups, 2 dunks, and 3 layups. He's getting 10 to 15 rebounds a game. How the hell he can't get 5 fucking baskets? And if he can't get 5 baskets, that opens the playing game right there. Small ball lineup, Randall, OB, Randall, whoever. You want to keep Randall in, you keep him in. But he got to play multiple positions, just like you trying to make these guys play out of their positions. Ken Reddish gets there, you don't put him in. Why? Because you don't want to hurt RJ's ego. They played on the same team. They know what each other could do. Maybe that will inspire each other. No, you want to make sure they lick your boots. So now, what did he do? He went to Portland. He didn't get to no playoff or nothing. No, he didn't. But he went to Portland and played free. Played with Dame. Now, he's in LA playing with LeBron. He'll be in the playoffs now. He'll be under the cameras now. If he earned that spot and he start hitting some threes and we still struggling to find a three-point shooter, or are they still struggling to find his shot, I want to see all y'all people who talk, get rid of. We got to the playoffs, didn't have no three-point shooting. Outside Jalen Brunson. Had Fournier on the bench. Then we went and got him because we lost the first year in the first round when we had these guys. They had no three-point shooting outside of Julius Randle. Then he goes missing, and the whole team is just a blur. That's Tibbs. The whole team is just a blur. Lick my boot mentality. I hate that old school coaching and shit. I hate it. Because they want to act like, oh, we do defense, discipline, it's discipline, defense. Like, get out of here with that, bro. Some players really are talented with defense. They got hands, they got agility, they on point. You can't teach that shit. Man, the Knicks, man. So now we got the question with Emmanuel quickly. Is he worth $100 million? He thinks he's worth $100 million. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. They paid our hear me? I don't know what's going on, man. Mic check, yeah. Yeah, man. What's the last thing you heard, Sir Charles? I was going in, too. I've been going in for a minute, man. Like, dang, man. That's going to kill my energy. Anyway, I was talking about Bradley Beal. And everything going on with him. Going over to Phoenix. Joining KD. Booker. Eaton. They got a squad. Everybody got them in the finals already. And I'm just not convinced. Not convinced. They in the West. Respect the champs. Joker ain't playing with them. Glad he can stay healthy. Kristaps Porzingis goes to Boston. Everybody knew that. Cam Johnson got his bag from the Brooklyn Nets. Dennis Smith Jr. signs a deal, then goes over there for a 1-year deal. Lonnie Walker agrees to a 1-year deal. Lonnie Walker from the Lakers went after the Lakers started going on their frenzy, bringing in crazy people. Lonnie Walker didn't make the cut over there. He goes to the Brooklyn Nets and draws Cam Johnson and them. They look a little different. You know what I mean? I'm curious about them. Nets got better. Nets got better. Rudy Gay traded to the Jazz in that trade. O'Shea Brissett, 2-year deal. The Boston Celtics. Charlotte Hornets re-signed a 5-year multi-year extension max deal with LaMelo Ball. I think his numbers is like 260, something like that. So salute to LaMelo Ball getting his bag. I think he did what Lonzo and them didn't get. He got what Lonzo and them couldn't get because of injuries. I want to talk about that a little bit. Because the Bulls had to put in their little thing. They talking about LaMelo. Lonzo Ball won't be ready for next year, so they want some money back. They put in agreements. But they did sign Jabbar Carter. Kobe White returning, and then they just signed Torrey Craig today from the Phoenix Suns. So, you know, the Suns going to be different, man. They're going to be different. They're going to be weaker in some places. And the way the Denver Nuggets handled them, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work to do. I don't care how many shooters you get out there, man. Live by the 3, die by it. That's what I was told. Cleveland Cavaliers signed Karis LeVert to a 2-year deal. George Niang agrees to a 3-year deal with them. And Max Strus from the Miami Heat goes over there. He's signing trade. Dallas Mavericks acquire Seth Curry, leaves the Nets, goes back to the Dallas to play alongside Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, which I think was real smart for him to do. Dante Exum agrees to a 1-year deal with the Dallas, and Dwight Powell returns with a 3-year deal to the Dallas Mavericks. But Denver Nuggets, they lost a player. Justin Holiday agrees to a 1-year deal with them. Reggie Jackson returns on a 2-year deal with them, and DeAndre Jordan. Those are not big signings. Those are guys that were already on their team. Except for Justin Holiday, they did lose Bruce Brown, so that everybody like, hey, he's just a role player. He's just a role player. Yeah, all right. You know, that was pretty big for them. He was a big role player for them. Monty Morris joined the Wizards via trade. Okay, Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green, the bully, still in the Bay. Draymond Green, new media's bully, stays in the Bay. That's the ripple effects of that punch right there. That's why you shouldn't talk trash, man. And you try to never let them know what you're thinking. Never let them know what you're thinking. Just, wave them off, bro. Like, because you say things and you think you calling them into fruition, but you might mess up something and you might force something else. You know what I mean? And Draymond Green is a 4-time champion or 3-time champion? 4-time champion, I believe, right? Four-time champion with that team. Spent his whole career. He'll end his career on that 4-year deal, and he got a player option in his last year. That man is wheeling and dealing. He got 4. That's what I'm talking about. Corey Joseph agrees to a 1-year deal with Golden State, and Chris Paul went to them via trade in that Wizards trade. So they got Chris Paul and Draymond Green. After Draymond Green gets quoted saying he don't like Chris Paul. He might be just talking as an opponent, but as a teammate, I'm sure they can share the ball and go do big things. We'll see. I think that'll be I think that's gonna be a problem while Chris Paul is healthy, because you got 2 distributors on the floor at all times. You got 2 distributors, and that means you got a down low distributor, up top on the top of the post distributor. Like, it doesn't matter with those shooters over there. Oh my goodness! And Wiggins as the cutter, and oh man, they're gonna be special. They gotta tweak their game a little bit, because everybody's ready for them. Everybody kind of know. They're gonna give it to her. Don't let him get hot, and don't let him get hot. But they're gonna keep trying to shoot. They're gonna keep trying to shoot, so they run them tired and all that. But teams are getting smarter, man. Teams are getting smarter. As you see, Sacramento took them to the brink last year, and everybody try to say, Sabonis made an all team, right? All American team or something like that. Like, as a defender, like he just signed a max deal, $260 million. Like, everybody like, how he get more than Draymond? Draymond got his bag. He coming to the end. He walked away from $28 million this year, and then re-signed for $100. But he actually took less this year, 25 instead of the 28. So he's smart to keep his team together, to stay there. This max me out. I'm gonna end my career here, then I'll become a coach or something like that. Like, Draymond Green is smart, man. Z2 Motorsports, salute, bang. So that was Golden State. Then you got the Houston Rockets, who wowed America. Same rules apply though. Dylan Brooks, who disappeared against the Lakers, but the Lakers ran through a lot of people. He was running his jabs, and the Lakers ran through them because they need to be full team, mentally strong. He got what he asked for, the 40-point ass whooping he asked for. And it didn't come from, I think the most ironic and the best thing about it was it came from the whole team. Everybody responded to Dylan Brooks. And he disappeared, but he's definitely an all-time player. He made the all-player team. Defensively, he does get in people's heads. He is the Memphis goon, quote unquote, but he also can hit threes. He also can get busy if he gets his mind focused in the game. He's a demon, basically, at his size. Harasses a lot of people, gets a lot of steals, things like that. Like, he earned his bread. He stood there, took lesser in Memphis, and he went and got $80 million with the Houston Rockets. Who's fresh with Ime Udoka, who's bringing in some vets to shore up that recklessness over there. Fred VanVleet as his guard, Dylan Brooks as one of his forwards, and he got some talented forwards over there. And then he got Jock Landale, agrees to a 4-year deal. I think those were good signings for Houston. I'm curious about them, but not really. I think they got a lot to do. He got to get them in order. It's going to take them two years, possibly, as they shore up that team. You think that? Oh, really? You think Houston gonna make the playoffs next year? Well, we'll see. I'm not gonna shit on them. Ime Udoka is not playing. He just had to take a year. He was forced a year out of the NBA because of his recklessness 2 years ago in Boston, and he had a big team there. But some say he was given that team. He didn't build that team, and he was given the team. The team was broken after Kyrie Irving left their ass. You understand what I'm saying? The team was broken. When Gordon Hayward's leg broke and all that, the team was broken. Ime Udoka went and put some key pieces in there, went and got Horford back. Man, Boston was right back in it. And they almost went, but they got beat. They just wasn't quite ready. He's been gone 2 years since then. They've been back twice and got beat again the same way. Like, say what you want about Ime. I expect that team to be coached well and be ready in the West. Houston Rockets. But I don't know if they'll make the playoffs this year. The West is strong and competitive. I don't know. Then we got the Indiana Pacers. Now, we already said the Nuggets lost Bruce Brown. Agrees to a 2-year deal with the Indiana Pacers. What are they trying to do? As they max out Tyrese Halliburton. And let's remember, Halliburton, wasn't he on the Sacramento Kings or something like that? So they let him go to Indiana Pacers. They recognize the gem that he is. They're paying him a 5-year extension. $250, $260 max deal. Ouch. They go get Bruce Brown. I need that hustle. And then they go trade the Knicks for Obi Toppin. What are they doing over there? They going to run. They going to run. They going to pop. They going to shoot. Indiana Pacers in the East. East is not as strong as the West, in my opinion. Like, what I mean by that is you got your general 4 teams, and the rest is a crapshoot, and take discipline and see who's more than ready and being coached well, and they'll get those last 4 seats. But the rest of the league is up in the East. Yeah, they might be in a playing game. They might be in a playing game. And then you got the LA Clippers who've been humble. Let's remember they sitting on their 2 superstars who was reported this week, I think via Adrian Wojnarowski, said that Kawhi has contacted the Clippers and said he's healthy and ready to go for the season. Clippers are leery to give him an extension, as they should be. Which is going to lead me to my question. If you are the GM, do you give Kawhi Leonard an extension right now after he didn't play most of last year and then sat down in like the playoff game that they needed him? Like, I don't know if he was hurt or whatever, but the way he be load managing, would you do that? Would you deal with that again for another max? No, hell no, bro. If I'm the GM, I'm not doing that. Hell no. Kawhi, if you leave, leave. Let's trade you. You want to leave? Let me trade you. I'm not doing that. Some people say, oh, I'd rather take the risk on PG. And PG is risky. As the Knicks treading on thin ice with it, they flirted with it a little bit, but they don't want no smoke. They don't want no superstar smoke. This is what comes with having a superstar. You're going to have to treat them a little prissy. But that's why you got to make sure they're a superstar, because you don't want them to get hurt. I think our last superstar was Allen Houston. Oh, man. So now the Clippers, they trade the Rockets for Kenyon Martin's son, KJ Martin. It was not bad. He had a pretty decent season, averaged 12 points, played 60 games. I guess they expected him to really do big things. And going to the Clippers, they need some bodies. They got those max players over there. They don't want to give PG-13 an extension. They re-signed Russell Westbrook. Now remember, it was Banging Aces and Banging USA Sports that was on Westbrook's side last year when all this shit was going down. And I ain't even talking about before the Lakers. I'm talking about before the Lakers. Then when he got picked by the Lakers, I argue why he should have had a bigger role on the Lakers. They, look at the Lakers. They ended up having to give those young boys more play than than LeBron thought he had to. And because he couldn't pass the ball late in the games in the playoffs, he didn't learn to level up to get to that point. They lost. He wanted to do it himself. 3 straight games. He came up short. Actually 4. So, LeBron got to incorporate those players more. That's what they there for. Of course, you 38 years, they're going to converge on you. They're not going to let you kill them. You've been killing them for years. You killing them, scoring 30 and a half. You doing things like that, like not scoring for a whole quarter and putting up 30. Like, grinding. So Russ Westbrook gets traded to LA Clippers, and he balls out. He gets to the playoffs. He's looking like Russ. He could still ball like I thought he could ball, but he couldn't carry the team, and he came up short again, like Russell Westbrook has done throughout his career. And but this time he finished his contract, his $50 million contract, in style, playing with a team that appreciated him. And he found a little home playing with PG-13 and them, but if those guys are not re-signing, those guys, I think they still got to get him this year, but those guys demand a trade. Oh, man, Russ. Oh, man. Here we go, back to square one. Russ keep getting caught up in those, let me lead the team, square one routines on different teams. Like, wow. But then they signed Mason Plumlee earlier today or yesterday. And, you know, these big men's going off the radar, off the list. The big men getting picked up. And that's how it is. And we got the Lakers. We talked about Cam Reddish. Look at these ads by Pelinka, though. Back to Pelinka ads. Pause. Here we go. Cam Reddish agrees to a 2-year deal. Taurean Prince comes over, agrees to a 1-year deal. So they'll be renegotiating next year, depending on his season. Gabe Vincent comes from the Miami, so they just automatically improve their three-point shooting with all three of these players. They re-signed Rui, returning on a 3-year deal. They still Jackson Hayes from New Orleans, because he's not going to play behind Zion. He's not going to play, and he's pretty good. He was playing with Zion off the floor, and he's pretty good. So I think he could be better playing behind Anthony Davis, learning some of those moves, those spin arounds, those hooks, those everythings. I think he could be better. D'Angelo Russell, D-Russ. I argue with my son about this. Everybody like, get D-Russ out of here. I'm like, who you got better than D-Russ coming in here? You see D-Russ handle it? If D-Russ puts some discipline on himself and actually yearn to be part of something, made himself mentally ready for these games, man, D-Russ would be a problem. Let's remember he's a high draft pick by the Los Angeles Lakers originally, but he's always been childish. He's not a cool teammate, things like that. And it's not that he's not cool, he just like to play. A grown man that like to play games and ain't serious about his craft, like, because they rich now. Like, that's how he strike me. But when you come down to his game, oh man, he's one of the illest dribblers, gets to the hole at will, slow motion side to side, throw the floater up. If he really want to score, he could score. Like, D-Russ done had some years, though. So I understand people looking past him. But the Lakers, they ain't going to get nobody better than him unless they was keeping Schroeder. And Schroeder dipped out to Toronto Raptors. Oh, yeah, you know, got that Pepsi. Got that Pepsi popping. They need to give me a stock share. Austin Reeves returns on a 4-year deal. Undrafted player, but played remarkable in the playoffs. I had some challenges, too. has some challenges too. Steph Curry, all of them, like he had some challenges, defensive challenges that he had to work through. Then we got the Memphis Grizzlies. They max deal Desmond Bain $200 million, $205 million, something like that. Derrick Rose, and then, you know what? They signed Derrick Rose from the New York Knicks. So there goes the veteran leadership at the point guard role. And then traded for Marcus Smart, another defensive veteran at the point guard. So they got two game managers right there to hold down the fort while Ja Morant gets off his 25-game hiatus by the league. Hopefully he comes in healthy and this changes the whole pace. Marcus Smart is going to be waiting for him. Derrick Rose, I know they're going to be waiting for him, but that's going to be good leadership and people to hang with for the season. Stay your ass out of trouble. Rock with them. They rock with you. Start a whole new thing, man. Like, I know ignorant ass young kids that I ain't fucking with that. I'm not. No, man, I hope that's not the case. It is a fraternity. I hope they can get it together. Miami Heat snatched up Thomas Bryant. I believe he was on the Lakers bench. Kevin Love returning on a 2-year deal. He had some big shots for Miami last year, but next year he will be older. And then Josh Richardson, as they prepare to make the ultimate trade for Dame Lillard. Wow, how you feel about that, Sir Charles? Dame Lillard going to the Miami Heat. Now, that is allegedly, that is not confirmed yet, but that's what I feel. I feel like he already let it be known. He want to go to the Heat. I know Portland said they'll trade him to whoever give him the biggest package, but I think they better clear that with Dame, because Dame will leave on them. Dame will leave on them. Got Milwaukee Bucks re-signing Chris Middleton to a 3-year deal after he opted out. Re-signing Brook Lopez. Got his brother Robin Lopez in the building to play backup. So the bros is back together. Play for the Milwaukee Bucks. Jay Crowder returned on a 1-year deal. Malik Beasley agrees to a 1-year deal, leaving the Lakers. Smart move from Malik Beasley. Go from a champion contender to a champion contender. Try to get that trip. That's what I'm talking about. And then you got Nickeil Alexander-Walker turning on a 2-year deal to Minnesota. Yeah. Even if Dame go to the Heat and make them a better contender for a championship, I can't say they gonna get through the East easy like that with just Dame, and because I've seen a lot of flaws in Bam Adebayo. He's reckless with his body. He's not as consistent. Like, they're gonna need Bam to be a force, somebody that scores 30 a night, and I don't think he could give you that. I mean, he could if he dedicated himself, but I don't think he will, because he goes away from the basket way more than going at the basket. In my opinion, it would just be him and Jimmy, which be enough to get him past certain teams in the East. It would depend on their matchups. Put it like that. Because they just got through the East based on their matchups, but I won't say it was easy for them. You know what I mean? Like, they came in the play and they almost lost. They came down to a last-minute shot by Jimmy Butler, 54 points or some shit like that. Like, come on, like, that just show you the determination of him. And then you're an 8 seed, you taking on Milwaukee Bucks, and Giannis is hurt. Giannis get hurt, man. If you don't tell me the cards ain't supposed to fall your way right there, so then Giannis gets hurt, try to play through it, but they was more resilient. They won that. That's why you can't take it away from them. They won that. Then they go on. They play the Knicks, and they kind of was a superior team to the Knicks, even though the Knicks could have won that series. We took them first team to take them to 6 games, but we did not play well in that series. We had more turnovers. We were missing more 3-pointers. It was just horrible matchup for the Knicks. If we really wanted it, we could have won. But them young guys, they just ain't never been to that moment. I was really disappointed in Julius Randle this year, more than ever, because he had the help. He got out of the first round. Now he's supposed to be charged, and he's supposed to be confident. And still playing with a messed up ankle. He ended up having surgery at the end of the year, so he was on that ankle all season. I'm not gonna give him that excuse, but at the end of the day, I understand if he had a bummed ankle, he's misjudging shit. He's, you know what I mean, or shooting off whatever. You know what I mean. But now you sitting for the whole summer. So now when the season start, you didn't work on your game. You probably gonna be heavier. How you gonna attack the season like you always have to dribble, bounce, step back 3. Like, come on, bro. Nah, that shit ain't gonna work. But back to Minnesota Timberwolves. Troy Brown agreed to a deal. Anthony Edwards agrees to a 5-year extension max deal with the Timberwolves. That's the writing on the wall for Karl Anthony Towns, after he already got his max deal, but they not giving you no more money. No more money, Karl Anthony. You need to work on your destination, Karl Anthony. Stop thinking you're too big to get traded or put out of town. They're gonna make a gem sword with you. That's why they went and got Gobert last year. They're gonna restart with your capital, with your asset capital. At least that's my opinion. Shake Milton signs a 2-year deal with the Timberwolves. So now players are starting to go out there to Minnesota, which is pretty interesting. Like, Anthony Edwards is attracting certain players. I think he do need like a power forward out there, especially if Karl Anthony Towns is going to be leaving. He needs something out there. He need a major pick. But I think Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns stays this year. They have this year to prove they about something. I ain't just talking about getting out the first round. They gotta really shake shit. Knicks gotta shake shit. I ain't talking about no get in the playoffs, get in the play-in, and get knocked out in the first round. No, we're not doing that. We're not fucking doing that. We went and got some shooters. Shoot the damn rock. Damn it. New Orleans Pelicans. This was a smart signing for them. Herb Jones gets a 4-year deal. They ain't worried. They not trying to lose him this year, next year, or the year after. They're like, yo, let's lock you up for 4 because we know you nice. Pelicans playing around. They got a couple of good players over there. But they waiting on They waiting on Zion, man. They waiting on Zion. And I mean, they signed Cody Zeller. But they waiting on Zion to be Zion. At least 1 year. Because they gave him the bag, too. They gave him the bag, so they need Zion to be Zion. And it was looking a little shaky going into the draft. They were looking like a little shaky. Had rumors of Zion trying to get to New York. And, this was expecting a big draft for this year that did not happen for the New York Knicks. And I was expecting a big signing or splash, a big trade, and it did not happen for the New York Knicks that we're going to talk about right now. Again, I started that. Man, we're going to talk about them right now. And they add Dante DiVincenzo and make it a Nova Knick team. But like I said to my son and a few other people that have been debating me on this Dante DiVincenzo ad, Dante DiVincenzo is a Jalen Brunson ad. He need players that he can trust, that know his game, that's why Josh Hart is there. So my thing is, this is the first superstar we got on the team in 20 years, first point guard that we had in 20 years. Whoever he want, he get. He get like 2 or 3 picks. Who you want as your Cody? Go get Dante. All right, I'll go get Dante. Dante will show them what I mean. Dante will show Grimes what I mean when I say this, when I do this. Dante know. Dante will show them. Yo, he's nice. I'm telling you, that was my guy. Man, whoever he want, he go get. Then I'm asking him, who you want as your center? Who moving better with you? I like Mitch. All right, so Mitch stays in there. Who you want as your power forward? Who you going? Oh, I like Julius. I like Julius. Julius takes the pressure off of me. All right, so Julius gets his ass in there. That's how this shit getting ran. Because we ain't had a point guard in 20 years. Nobody that matters. So they went and got DiVincenzo. I am happy about that ad. How they did it, I don't know. Because if I'm these players, especially DiVincenzo, went to all these teams, made money, got a ring, you paying me my money. Ain't nobody else taking those shots. Unless they promising them back. And I think that's the way the New York Knicks work. They like, yo, man, just take this. Come on to the team. Let us get you on the team. And then after next year, I'll show you up on the extension. Oh, where are you going to show me up on the extension and I'll pay you then? Yes. We can talk about it. Like, that's how they working. Because that's how they got Hart to opt in to this deal or something like that so that they could have more money to flex at Dante, and it still wasn't the splash that the New York Knicks need. I can't believe the fans is really, they so up and down. They like a stock market down in stock and Wall Street or something. Like, they so up and down, the Knicks fans. Like, it's like, oh, fuck Randall, oh, trade Randall, oh, look, he's not good for the fans. Oh, like, you need to get him out of here. He changing the team. Then he has a crazy season. Then it's like, yo, who we trading Randall for? Nah, man, we gotta trade him for a superstar. Is Randall a superstar? No. He's an all-star, but is he a superstar? So we trade him for another pre-all-star or all-star. You got to try to get younger, but just as good, right? But nah, they're gonna go for some old man, knees halfway broken, shoulder can't rotate anymore. That's what my New York Knicks do. I'm convinced that this is not by accident. That is all about entertainment. They're just trying to be a high entertainment team. When it comes to going and getting that guy that you got to take 3 years to build around, they went and got Jalen Brunson. Thank God Dallas didn't want to pay Jalen Brunson $100 million. They turned around and snatched up Kyrie and had to give Kyrie an extension for $129. See, a year later. So it's like, did y'all save money? Now y'all gonna say, oh, but I got the better guard. Do you? Do you? Because Kyrie is my boy. But if Kyrie only gonna play 40 games, I got you beat. 40 games beat. Nah, let's move on. Let's move on a little bit. Oklahoma City Thunder, Patty Mills. Victor, I think Patty Mills is actually on Houston. I think he ended up going to Houston. After this trade to Oklahoma City Thunder, they brought him out, dropped him, and then he went and signed with Houston. Or he may have traded. Because I heard his name with Udoka or something. But we'll see. Victor Oladipo went to Oklahoma City? Really? Trade with the Heat? When did this happen? And Jack White agrees to a 2-year deal. Orlando Magic got the trade of Joe Ingles from the Nets earlier in the week. He agrees to his 2-year deal with the Magic. Moritz Wagner turns on a 2-year deal. Pat Bev is a Sixer now. Then joined another team. I expect him to be a dog over there. Agrees to a 1-year deal with the Sixers. That's the only signing the Sixers have made, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know how they're going to. James Harden has asked for a trade from the 76ers as he opted in. He's asked for a trade. Where he ends up, I don't know where he's going. That fool. Daryl Morey is his guy. And they wanted to handcuff to each other. They wanted to handcuff to each other, right? Since Houston and all that. So now, everybody made all that noise last year when Kyrie Irving went into free agency and he opted in, and everybody was like, "Why'd you opt in? It's 30-something million. What do you mean? Why he opted in? Nobody was gonna sign him, and then when you signed him, you was gonna ask him to take a short. So he opted in. He got his bread. So then he doesn't play. He goes through whatever at the beginning of this season. They finally trade him. Gets to Dallas, has nothing. He plays basketball, bro. He's balling. Best fourth quarter scorer in the game. And then they just decide to sit everybody and tank it out. Like, I did not understand that, man. I did not understand that. I think it was part of making the Knicks lose that pick. But I don't know. Where does Harden go, though, and end up? I don't know, man. Long as it's not like an overkill, like to the Suns or something like that. Like, do I want Harden in New York? After signing Dante DiVincenzo, you know what? I wouldn't mind having Harden in New York. Because by having Harden in New York, I might attract Embiid. You know what I mean? Like, send RJ over there. Send RJ to Philly. And when his contract up, he could come back if he really want to be in New York. But I'm sure he's going to go chase the bag. You know what I mean? Send RJ over there. Go get Embiid. Then Mr. Harden will be wanting to come to New York. This chestnut checkers, man. So that was the Sixers. They said they're not gonna max out Tyrese Maxey right now. They'll catch him up next year, and they'll give him the bag for that. So he gonna wait for that bag. That'll keep him solid to them for at least this year and make him not ask for a trade. But that team about to fall apart, man. And I think for the Philly, this is what I think about Philly. Philadelphia 76ers are suddenly in a superstar conundrum. Trusting the process of 5 seasons and not being accountable to the misjudgments, the scapegoating, the coaches and players for multiple years. Multiple years. Poor play as a team is why they've lost, and the lack of consistency and that accountability to why they lost those games. Blaming one player or another, whether it's Markelle Fultz or Ben Simmons, it was never their problem as a team. And that was the problem. That's how they alienated Ben Simmons after he messed up. He messed up. But you alienate him they alienated him as a team. Coach, superstar player, then everybody else was snickering in the media. Then the media just took it where it went. Then the kid ended up being hurt. So now the media start shifting the narratives to this and that. Oh, Ben Simmons is just weak. He's just weak-minded. Like they wasn't concentrating that he was hurt. Coming back from a surgery, try to play, it didn't work. He had a chance to join Kyrie and them, and when he was out there, he was looking happy. But he was hurt. He didn't finish playing with them. So anyway, back to the 76ers. Point the finger. Oh, did Embiid not miss a layup? Did Embiid not at the end of a game in a playoff? Did we point the finger? Did we hold him accountable to that when he was crying in the back on his wife? Did we hold him accountable to the misses? The inconsistent play that you saw this year in the playoffs? Are we holding him accountable to how he played this year in the playoffs? Or are we gonna blame coach? We're gonna point that finger at Coach Doc Rivers. That's how I feel about Philly. Suddenly has the 76ers with a lack of talent to pair with his now MVP Joel Embiid. Should Embiid demand a trade this year and not wait a year? Should he continue to trust the process since they trust the process and waited for him? Does Embiid share in any of the franchise gaffes? Any to blame even this year? You talk about he can't do it alone. Then he switched it up and said, me and James can't do it alone. Like those other, what happened? Maxey was balling, trying to help y'all. Two years in a row, Maxey has balled out, and y'all seem to every year forget about him. Like, y'all run through y'all big egos. I need the MVP, I need the MVP, I need the MVP. And then y'all playing hurt, and this kid is out there balling. Game after game after game after game. Y'all not giving him no credit. Now he got to wait for his $100 million, though. He got to trust the process some more because of y'all misgaps. Does Embiid deserve any blame for the 3 years of being outed in the second round? I don't know. I mean, I know. I think he most definitely deserves some blame, not all blame. He has played remarkable 3 seasons in a row, coming second to the Joker himself. Um, got got lucky that he snagged it last year. Cause if you ask me, with Joker winning a chip and everything, it was his last year again. Phoenix Suns, Bradley Beal, Jordan Gooden, Isaiah Todd via the trade with the Wizards. And they signed Keita Bates, Diop, agrees to 2-year deal. Drew Eubanks agrees to a 2-year deal. Eric Gordon agrees to a deal. Damian Lee returns on a 1-year deal. Tamizi Metu agrees to a 1-year deal. Josh Okogie returns to a 2-year deal. So they got Eubanks, Metu, and Okogie, and Watanabe, and Dia. They got a straight Euro team right there, African Euro team right there. You don't want to be. They got like an immigration team right there. Watanabe, what? Oh man, but yeah, man, there's some smart pickups right there for them young men to go over there, join that squad, try to help them get to a championship. It's not gonna be easy in the West again. Portland Trailblazers. This might have been the signing that got Dame out of town when they re-signed Jeremy Grant to a 5-year deal, $160 million. That tells Dame they're not gonna get no vets over here for you. We ain't got the money. We had to keep Jeremy, and that's what made Dame hit them next day later. Like, yo, what's up, man? Look for that trade for me. I'm trying to go to Miami. I'm trying to go to Florida. Jeremy Grant deal. Good deal. Like, it's a big deal. But if you're planning for your future with Scoop, he gonna need a Cody. You can't let this guy get away. He was one of your draft picks. I get it, but man, I would try to keep Dame. I'd try to keep Dame. You already paid him, so you might as well go get him some people. Domantas Sabonis agrees to a multi-year extension. We talked about that earlier. He got a max deal. Alex Len returning on a year deal to the Sacramento Kings, and then Sasha Vezenkov agrees to a 3-year deal, and Trey Lau returns on a 2-year deal to Sacramento Kings. So they didn't lose much. They're going to be back trying to run it back. San Antonio Spurs. Julian Champagnie. This kid, I seen him tonight at the California game against the Hornets, and he's going to be able to ball, man. This kid right here, Julian Champagnie, turning on a 4-year deal to the San Antonio Spurs. And they got Trey Jones returning on a 2-year deal. And Sandro Mamu Keleshavili, whatever. Sorry. If I slayed the name, I slayed the name. We'll call you Mamu. Mamuke Lashvili. Mamuke Lashvili. Agrees to a 2-year deal with the San Antonio Spurs. And you know they got Wemby. So I don't expect them to be up there this year. They have to sew that team up a little bit. But I'm curious to see what Wemby does with his weight class in the NBA. Jalen McDaniels agrees to a 2-year deal with the Raptors. Jacob Poto turns on a 4-year deal with them. And Dennis Schroeder, as I repeated earlier, left the Lakers and signed a 2-year deal for a starter role over there. The Raptors, smart move. Utah Jazz. Jordan Clarkson agrees to a 3-year extension with the Jazz. And John Collins got traded to the Jazz. Now, John Collins could change that team around, man. Let's see if he stays pat. Utah is a hard state to stay in, but we'll see. Kyle Kuzma signed a $100 million deal, 4-year deal, 25 per, I believe. As Kyle Kuzma staying with the Wizards. Jordan Poole and Ryan Rollins joined by a trade with the Warriors. Wizards backcourt suddenly looks good. Landry Shamet joins from the Phoenix Suns. He can shoot. Tyus Jones from the Grizzlies, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala from the Celtics. They suddenly have a decent team. They need a power forward or a center. Either or. But Washington Wizards, watch out. They're in the East. And that's it, man. That's it. Those were the trades. I mean, the free agency times. I told y'all LaMelo Ball signed his, got extended. Now, let's talk Washington Wizards. Are they better? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Let's talk Washington Wizards. Are they better? I don't think they're better. I think that's due to we're gonna find out. And I remember Bill wasn't playing sometimes, but Jordan Poole gonna be a big player for them. It's gonna be good to see him on the points list and see where he ranks amongst everybody. Lakers maintain its young core and attract. Solidified youth for positions of need. The Lakers maintain their depth. Actually, they look deeper. But to the sacrifice of Schroeder, Lonnie Walker, and possibly Mo Bamba, we are currently in the Dame time season. All eyes on Dame Lillard. If he makes it to the Heat or what team he ends up on. New York Knicks add a shooter and another Villanova guy in the building. Watch out, Grimes, quickly, and Deuce. We haven't even talked about Deuce. Deuce just locked away, thrown away on the side over there. And we didn't talk about Obi Toppin's brother being picked up on a two-way by the Knicks. Do I think he'll get played this year? No. You're talking about Coach THIBBS here. Ran a 7-man roster in the second round of the playoffs, bro. 8-man roster in the second round of the playoffs. Gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. You gotta be kidding me. I ain't talking about you gotta play all 15 men, but an 8-man roster? Come on, bro. Like, it was so disrespectful making Jalen Brunson run 48 minutes. It was so disrespectful making Grimes run 48 minutes and he only put up, 16? Think he could put up that 16 with the rest. He might do better. However, this was a needed addition. The Knicks look to be in running back mode, and I believe it's a mistake. Once again, look around you. Everyone has elevated their lineup to some extent. Even the weak-ass Wizards. But some people feel like we've been doing this, building this for a little minute, and we're solid, so we shouldn't panic. And I feel like that, but I feel like nobody should be feeling like safe. I don't think Mitch Robinson should feel safe. And they keep saying that they keep turning down trades to Mitchell Robinson. Now, I get it. With the winnings of Joker and Giannis, and you need big men to slow these guys down, to foul these guys and all of that. Like, you need big men. And if the big man could score, oh, man, we in the money. But everybody's retooled. How or why will we keep such high expectations on young heads that are on these young heads who got their head in the cloud players looking at their shoes when they dribbling? We've experienced that they're non-leaders. THIBBS is in the lot and handcuffed his fate with the values of Julius Randle's development, growth, and success. With this said, the development of the youth, or lack thereof, is the real teller and truth behind the matter. Julius Randle, though young, is the veteran. That's THIBBS must have projected as his end or from the very beginning. That's why when he was having trouble, they started coaxing him and walking and going to games with him and scouting Jalen Brunson, and they was showing him the plan. We're about to come try and get Jalen. That's Brunson's son. But I don't know why we keep such high expectations on these young guys if we're not going to play them. Then we play them. Players like RJ give them supreme minutes. Players like Grimes give them supreme minutes. And they give you 8 points. You only got to do that to me once or twice before I be looking for somebody to fill that role. They talk about, oh, they sat Fournier because he's a defensive liability. These guys were defensive liabilities all playoffs, bro. Dudes was driving by them. I think some of this stuff be cop-out and excuse stuff. I think anybody can have a bad day in basketball. But the lack thereof, the development on Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, R.J. Barrett, Mitch Robinson, who was a good defender, but if you can't get 5 buckets, then you are a liability and you're wasting my time on. You can't hit free throws. We holding our breath in the playoffs for you to hit free throws that you did hit, but we holding our breath. You got teams resorting to hack-a-mitch. Hack-a-mitch. Obi Toppin was an 8 pick, a long-awaited 8 pick, shuttled directly to the bench from the draft with a promise to play since his rookie season. Great character player, downhill aggression, skill set, 6'9", non-defender. Why is he labeled a non-defender? If you give him 11 minutes or 16 minutes, And you're putting them on the perimeter. You're not putting them in the box, right? This is an imperative flaw for Obi Toppin. You have to get the defender moniker. On the DIVS, he was getting roasted on the switches, not getting there fast enough, and then they give up a three-pointer. That is going to be a problem, but he's going to have to go learn that because he likes to roam, and with him roaming, he gets fast breaks, he breaks the floor, he scores quick buckets, which the Knicks need. A score floor runner genuinely had to work on his game and rawness of his shooting early in his career. I think he's in his third, going into his fourth year. However, in his limited minutes and very limited offensive scheme, he developed a three-point shot, still lacks in defense and rebounds, all of that, because he hasn't gotten in the box. I was curious to see him this year. Again, all these attributes, every player can work on and flip faster in tempo and more detailed defense, and yet looser play can flip. These numbers could flip with some good minutes. Because I do believe Obi had a 30-point game for the Knicks. Obi had a 40-point game for the Knicks. Like, I do believe that. That's not a fluke. But consistency, Obi. That's what you need, consistency. And you can't get consistency without play. To me, the whole Knicks staff didn't want to be the one with the ball and make the bad play and end up with a terrible opportunity. More and more times over in the playoffs, that's what I saw. But this is just my opinion. Mitch Robinson played well, but like I said before, defense needs to score points, and he's an offensive liability. Can't secure 5 baskets in a game. Can't guarantee 10 rebounds per game in 30-plus minutes. Like, I think he's overblown. It's pretty average. You could get that production from, and he brought in center, Cody Zeller. Knick team was void of sure buckets. They void of a star other than Jalen Brunson. So as a coach, no way Mitch plays 30-plus minutes in no game for me. Should RJ be better? Yes, absolutely. However, in the playoffs, RJ Barrett seemed to have discovered himself a bit in confidence, played really well, and helped the team in most games, except Game 6. Played solid basketball to that high-pressure Game 6 where the team blew it mentally, including Jalen Brunson with the late game forced turnover, quickly injured. His knee in the playoffs was on an upward trend prior to the playoffs. Grimes was up and down. But again, first time these guys has made it to these levels, and it is basketball, but the intensity wasn't there. It wasn't there. And the Heat been there. They've been with this intensity. They didn't have no problem matching the Knicks. They read them out. They ran the zone. Knicks couldn't break it. Couldn't hit a three-pointer. They lost the fucking series. This year, to me, is going to be a teller season for Coach THIBBS and the New York Knicks. Obi Toppin, top draft pick. Cam Reddish, top draft pick. Neither one of them is here anymore. Now we're down to Emmanuel Quickley and Deuce McBride and Jericho Sims and Keels and Grimes, right? So you got a lot of youth there. Well, Obi Toppin was a first-round pick. So y'all supposed to be trying to develop that. Cam Reddish, I believe, was a first-round pick. Y'all supposed to be trying to develop that. R.J. Barrett, yeah. He was the first-round pick, the third guy off the board. That's the highest pick we had in over 30 years. So, yeah, we are supposed to be trying to develop him and put him in situations and let him play, especially at 6'8", 6'9", 200 and something pounds. Like, we supposed to be developing him. So, it's time for him to put it out or get out. Like I said earlier, Reddish was the three-point specialist, supposed to be, that came in and couldn't crack THIBBS' rotation. I expect these players to put up one of their biggest seasons. I expect Reddish to get found this year playing next to LeBron and getting that winner attitude and that mindset. Just don't get caught up hanging out with D. Russ and you'll be all right. Obi, I don't know. We'll see. They say he got people sitting in front of him. I personally don't think ain't nobody standing in front of that high flyer. They want to see him fly. Like those players in front of him. So they ain't got nobody that's man in that spot. Like, If that was the case, the Pacers would not. This is THIBBS' year, though. It's my opinion that Coach THIBBS plays players deliberately outside their skill set. Now, if that's coming down to development, this is how he's developing their other parts of the game so their game is ready. They can resort back to their regular skill set at any time. That's a coaching strategy. That's some old school stuff. If that's the way it is, you try to create muscle memory and stuff like that and the right basketball plays. I understand it as a coach. I just disagree with it at times. No player is going to be the same. And I learned this from coaching young players. You know what I mean? None of those kids are the same. But there is one way to play the game. But the way we play that one way is going to be different. If my crossover might be between my legs, his crossover might be in front his legs. My other friend's crossover might be behind his legs. Long as we cross over and go around that pick, what is the difference on how we crossed over? Somebody might know a Euro step. Another kid may not know how to do the Euro step. So how do you highlight their gift, their talent? Now, this is the NBA, grown man shit. This is the top best of the best. So I ain't looking for no damn excuses. best of the best. I ain't talking about little Joshy, who's a little overset heavyweight who can't jump. But he got a heck of a little sweet Jimmy. He got a heck of a little hook shot if he get in the post. Better than everybody on the team. So guess where I want little Joshy? I don't care about his punch belly. I want him right there in the box doing that little hook shot all goddamn game. And then I got another player who just likes to dribble, scared to shoot, but he liked to pass. So he's the point guard. Like I said, this is the NBA, grown man shit. These guys done work all their lives to get here. They supposed to know how to do it. You coach it. These is men you got to coach, though. You can't force little Joshy to get in the box. You can't force these players to get in the gym and practice together until it's practice. Like, you know, outside of practice, like Kobe Bryant, I'm going to stay in here for the next 4 hours just practicing all kind of situations. Like, it take growth. Julius Randle, in his podcast interviews with what's that? I see P3, PG-13, Paul George. He said he injured. He got a surgery. He can't go play basketball. He yearning to play basketball, but he can't play. So he's just in his like 6 or 7 year in the league. He's just getting to the point. That might be his 6th year in the league. But he's just getting to the point where he watched video. He watched tape. What? I couldn't believe he said that. I couldn't believe he said that. I really couldn't believe he said that, bro. But I'm glad he's watching tape now. I'm glad he's studying now. But I can't believe it took you 7 years and you wanted to be the LeBron James #1 on a team, a leader on a team. I couldn't believe that. Like, even I seen Kobe and I knew that in order to be that great, you got to live in the gym. You got to eat, shit, drink, spit, basketball. And you got to respect the game. Respect the game, man. Nobody respecting the game no more. Now it's just, we'll do this, we'll do that. So Harrison Barnes signed an extension. Dominic Barlow is a restricted free agent. I watched him play tonight. He was pretty good. Obama still hasn't been signed. Miles Bridges gets a qualifying offer but didn't sign it yet. Just looking at the last minute tracker to see if Willie Cauley-Stein didn't sign nobody, only 29 years old. Michael Carter Williams signed with Orlando. They declined his option. This kid, J.D. Davison, restricted free agent. He still played for Boston, but he was a last year rookie taken in the second round by the Boston Celtics. But this kid, I remember him playing in college, bro. And I believe he come from overseas or something. Or he went overseas. But I did a special on him last year when they picked him because I thought they was gonna bring him over, but they had went and got all those guards, Michael Brogdon, and then they kept Smart, and so I'm like, oh, why did they draft a guard though? So it always was on my mind that they was thinking about trading Smart, right? So to see him on this restricted free agent list, nobody know who he is though, and I remember him from last year. He probably should have been higher picked than he was. That's why Boston took him where they took him. He restricted. Let's see. Drummond went back to Chicago. LaMelo Ball, man. Let's go with LaMelo Ball, man. Let's go with LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball and the Hornets. Stop that for a second. LaMelo Ball and the Hornets. Re-signed. Jordan just sold his team, but his team is deep. For the first time, I don't think they got any organizational or veteran leadership over there. They got Book Night. They got LaMelo Ball, they got Miller that they just signed this year. I think that's one of B. Jordan's biggest picks is LaMelo Ball and Miller. Those two, along with we'll see what Miles Bridges does, and a couple of the big men, but they still got Book Night. They got Hayward, they got people over there. So, if they can get some veteran leadership over there for those young kids, and then they need a real coach. So with Jordan selling his stake in the team, they pretty valuable because I think he believes he sold it for over $3 billion. Did not buy that team at that price. I want to see them in the playoffs, man. I want to see them perform in the playoffs. But here come the Hornets now. Like, you know what I mean? So the East, man. The East. But yep. That's gonna probably be the episode for tonight, man. We'll come back and we'll talk about some of these other teams tomorrow, or later in the week. Actually, I don't know if I can be on tomorrow, but we'll see. We got the rest of these teams to go. We'll see what Philly ends up doing. We didn't talk about the Nets enough, so I could go back to them. Hornets re-signed LaMelo Ball, Max Deal after Mike Jordan sells the franchise and acquires Miller as a second pick. The Hornets look prime with the youthful talent as they look to finally put it together. Will they though? I don't know. How good will they be? That's the question mark for you guys to answer in the chat. Put it below. We talked about Houston Rockets and Ime Udoka. We talked about Rob Pelinka. We talked a lot about my New York Knicks and how I feel. But salute to Obi Toppin. Salute to the Knicks, the Lakers, Houston, Brooklyn, Hornets, and Philly, which are y'all issues. Y'all the only ones that can solve them. Just be clear and direct about it. It is Dame time on the clock. This is BANGUSA Sports or Bangusa Sports. One word. I'm your host, the Bangusa. I rocked out. I got all that out my system for tonight. Salute to Sir Charles for coming through. Salute to Z2 Motorsports. Y'all let me know in the comments, man, what y'all disagree with, what y'all down with. I thank y'all for rocking out with me. We at Bangusa Sports appreciate all who support the channel in any and all ways. This is a production entity of Bangusa Inc. Please hit the like, share, subscribe at your convenience, and let's continue to grow. Salute to the Bangusa tribe and merch soon to come for the show. What's next? We'll do the wrap up of free agency. As I watch these games, with the youth and the summer league about to start, we'll be talking a lot of trash about them here on Bangusa Sports. Until next time, salute to Sir Charles, man. Thank you for coming through, my guy. And I'm gonna end this show today. Gonna end this show. Bang! Draymond Green gets the new deal. Dylan Brooks gets the new deal. James Harden ejected for groin hunting in this playoffs. Remember that? Yeah. And these two, they thought they had it in the bag. Westbrook got his new deal to stay with the Clippers. Took a little $8 million. And this is Bangusa Sports. I'm your host, Bang. Until next time, salute. Bang! Welcome to Bangusa Inc.
Everyone's talking about how much guns they got. Everyone's talking about how much they keep it real. And everyone's talking about how many niggas they kill. But I wanna know how everybody's against. So where's the snitches at? Where's the bitches at? Where's the niggas that just can't take the pressure, man? Where's the set trippers, the fiends, and backstabbers? Cause I wanna know how everybody's against. Going around, we can get it on. Listen, but if you tryna shine, the nigga I'd advise throw some glitter on. This nigga wrong, heard the flow. Third for show.